Hi everyone. Last week we talked about the family. So family, which is very vital to all of us, and it's our pleasure to invite Mr. Dylan to talk about the family. Hi Dylan.
Hey man, how are you
How's
doing?
your day?
It's going well, man. It's going well.
All right. So tell me, what's your definition of the family?
Well, I guess I could have multiple definitions of family. You could have your blood family, people that you're directly related to, your mother, your father, relatives, your brothers, they're your mother and father's sisters, your grandparents. But in a lot of families, you can extend it, whether it's through a social family, friends that definitely are not related by blood, but you consider that the relationship is strong enough that it's more than a friend, that it's family. And then there's also families that aren't blood related, but are even stronger than friends. If you will come from a family where you are from a divorce and you have a stepmother, a stepsister, for example. I have a stepmother and a stepsister, and they're obviously, I view those relationships as stronger than friends, but maybe not quite as strong or just as strong as my blood family.
So what's your ideal family?
I guess that's subjective to each individual. I think it's less about blood and number and quantity or anything like that. It's about strength. So an ideal family is one that believes in each other, that supports each other, that pushes each other, that communicates with each other. So whether you're in a household with a mother and a father and you're a single child, or you just have a single mother and you're the only child, I don't think it matters as long as those relationships are strong. Now, from my perspective personally, I have two brothers. So those relationships with my brothers is something that it's the joy of my life. It's what I love more than anything else in the world. So I highly suggest if I have a family, I want to make sure that I have multiple children so that I can have children that have relationships with people their age that are stronger than anything they could possibly meet elsewhere.
Okay, so there are a lot of differences between America and China. So could you tell us what do you think of the differences between Chinese family and American family?
Well, first I'll talk, I guess, maybe about quantity. Obviously, I believe China has their two-child policy. America does not. So American families usually are more in people. Outside of that, divorce is more common in America. So, for example, in my family, I have a mother, a stepmother, a father, a stepfather. I have two stepsisters, two stepbrothers. So my family, even directly that I live with, is much larger probably than most Chinese families. Also, in terms of diversity, many Chinese families, they might marry outside of religion or their ethnicity, but it's not as common as it is in America. In America, you definitely see more diverse families, whether it's religious, ethnic, stylistically. Many families marry outside of their social groups now, so their families are definitely more diverse potentially in America. But in terms of values and roles and structures, I actually find it very similar. I think roles for both families are shared in terms of responsibilities, mother and father. I believe some of the same pressures you see maybe that are put on, or the way that children are raised, are seen in both societies. But definitely that diversity is something that sticks out to me.
Okay, so there must be some conflicts between family members. So how would you deal with it?
Well, I mean, me and my brothers, we solve conflicts by fighting each other, but I don't advise that. Communication. Just like any conflict, you have to have strong communication. You're going to have disagreements. Parents have an idea of how to raise you, what they think is best. It's because they love you. Sometimes you have to communicate that love to get the child to understand. Sometimes the child needs to communicate their feelings to the parent. And whether agreements or disagreements are made, there needs to be strong communication and understanding why. And I think as long as family members have respect for each other, they communicate their ideas, and it's open, I think that whether the conflict is resolved, I think the conflict won't necessarily detangle the family structure. Okay.
Okay. So the main factors of these conflicts is the generation gap. So when you are old, when you look at the younger generation, so what's your role of it?
Well, so as obviously, especially if you look at the time we're at right now, the past even 20 years, so much change has happened. The connectivity of the world through internet and technology, the cultural norms, the exposure of people to different ideas and different people has led to great change in people's mindsets. So as older generations get older, their way of life is going to be different than the younger generations. And I think that's where you have this balance. I think that some of the older traditions are important. Traditions are important because they remember the past. They set the culture and it's important to understand where we came from and sort of how we got here. But at the same time, I think it's also important that as people grow older, and if a generation of people has different ideas, that those ideas have to be respected and maybe even accepted, or if not completely accepted, tolerated. So I think it's important to listen to both the older generation from their experience, but as well as to get a complete understanding of the younger mindset, because they're the ones that are going to have to live through the times coming up. So
thank you for.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate it.